Well, are you ready for some unindoctrination? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, coming to you from the heartland of America with the spirit of 1776 and a rebel yell. We've been pushed too far, and we're back, baby. So get ready, because we're locked and loaded. We're wall to wall and treetop tall. And tonight, I've got a great presentation for you. You know, we think sometimes that we're really, really smart and we're really, really the most impressive. Thank you, Daniel. Those are some new flags I got. Those are nice flags. Those are actual, cotton flags. I can't remember the name of the store I got them from, so I would recommend them. Just great, great products, and very happy to have them. And Cereal Dog, we had some pizza earlier today. So, and by the way, these two flags mean exactly the same thing for those of you that don't know. And if you do want to get the t-shirts that I wear in the show, because Chuck Manson was fake news, go to conspiracytees.com or just go to my website, jeffreydaugherty.com, and click on the plastic Jesus like you see up there in the corner. You get a great shirt at a great price, and you help out the channel. But tonight, we're going to talk about something that I don't really want to talk about, but I feel compelled to talk about. I feel like it's something we need to understand. I feel like it's questions that we need to ask, because we get so trapped in this idea of everybody believes it, so it must be right. And what I have found is if everybody believes it, it's probably not right. It was Mark Twain that said, whenever I find myself in the majority, I get worried. And I am the same exact way. So today, acespecial.com on the flags. Are we sure on that one, Cynthia? That doesn't sound familiar, but if you're looking at it, then that must be it. acespecial.com on the flags. Not the least expensive, but really, really good quality. So let's talk about this. And we're going to talk about a subject that I think is worth our consideration. I want to talk about historic geocentrism. And what I mean by that is that we understand, if we know anything about history, if we know anything about culture, if we know anything about our forebears, we understand that the Greek culture is widely considered to be the cradle of Western culture, Western civilization. And culture, as I'm describing it here, is the social norms, the ethical values, the traditional customs, the belief systems, the political systems, artifacts, and technologies that originated in or are associated with Europe. Greece is the birthplace of everything that we know to be our highest and best expression of our culture. It's also the birthplace of democracy. And most experts feel, and I certainly concur with my studies, I'm 40 years deep into this. And if you look back at the Greek culture, it was the highest expression of humanity that is within our memory. And it was such a high expression of humanity that many people consider it very close to Atlantean or Agarthian. And I think that is true because it was so close in time to Atlantis. You had people in Greece, Aristotle, Socrates. If you're a fan of Bill and Ted, that's Socrates. They wrote about the Atlanteans, where they were, what they did. And most experts agree, and what happens when you find yourself in the majority, but a lot of experts agree that Greece inherited a lot of Atlantean knowledge and wisdom, and that's why Greece is the highest expression of human culture that we've seen within our collective memory. The ancient Greeks pioneered systematic thought. They pioneered biology, geometry, history, philosophy. They pioneered physics. They introduced poetry to us. They introduced history, tragedy, your scary movies, your sad movies that come from Greece. They brought us comedy, mixed blessings, I guess, sometimes. And in their pursuit of order and proportion, the Greeks created an ideal of beauty that strongly influenced the Western art. All the ideas of the Renaissance were also birthed in Greece. Greece was a place that looked at the human as divine. They looked at the human as sovereign. They looked at the human as free. And that's what these are about behind me. Divinity, sovereignty, freedom, our divine given rights and position. You don't have original sin. That's what these flags mean. You don't have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. I think it's incorrect, Lisa, to say pedophilia came through Greece, because pedophilia came through the God of the Bible. He's the one that originated that. He's the one that we can see doing that way back at the beginning. So I would say nay on the pedophilia. But think about that for a minute, Lisa. The Greek expression of human culture was the highest expression of human culture. And what does this very low expression of human culture that we live in now want us to think of the Greeks? They want us to think Greek and think butt sex, and that's it. And that makes perfect sense when they're trying to tear down us at our highest and take us to our lowest. Thank you for bringing that up, because it really fit in well with what we were talking about. And I think you can understand exactly what I'm getting at with this. And it was Aristotle and the high Greek culture, epic humanity, divine humanity, beautiful humanity, smart humanity, humanity in harmony with the earth and with each other, folks. It was Aristotle and the high Greek culture that thought out, reasoned out, and gave us the geocentric model. What is a geocentric model? Well, today we live with the understanding of a heliocentric universe, meaning that everything goes around the sun. The geocentric model is that everything goes around the earth. Think of that. And geocentrism, folks, was the predominant description of the cosmos in classic Greece, as well as many other ancient civilizations. So think about that for a minute. If the highest and best expressions of human culture saw and believed that the universe was geocentric, meaning everything flowed around the earth, and today we're convinced it's heliocentric, what type of thought should that spur within us? I'm thinking that if you think it's heliocentric, then not only is Earth decentralized, literally, but isn't humanity decentralized too and devaluated and is taken away from just this shy of divinity to being just another bug on just another rock floating around the sun? But all I know and all I'm asking you to consider is that the highest expression of human culture thoroughly believed, and we could argue invented, the idea of geocentrism, everything going around the earth, not everything going around the sun. And my question is, why are we so quick to dismiss the cosmological model, that means about the universe? Why are we so quick to dismiss the cosmological model that the highest minds of human history reasoned out? Why are we so quick to dismiss the cosmological model that the highest minds of human history were committed to? And I'm pretty sure if we could get back to Atlantis, the Atlanteans, the Daughertyans, they believed in a geocentric universe. And why, when it's talked about, geocentrism, why is it given only ridicule if it's given any thought at all? And the Greeks saw two main reasons for their geocentric convictions. Tracy says, you really think the Jesuits would deceive us? That's what they're here for. So let's talk about the two things that Greek culture thought and reasoned to say that the earth was the center of everything. And if you look at this picture, this is a picture of the North Star and then the star field of the northern sky, obviously. And this is a time lapse over a year. And if you notice, all of those stars go in what looks like perfect concentric circles around the earth. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm just a Bible college graduate. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. But when I look at that, I see things going around us, not us going around things. But anyway, first in the Greek mind was the idea that anywhere on earth, the sun and the stars always seem to revolve around the earth once per day. And while the moon and the planets have their own motions, they also appear to revolve around the earth about once per day. The stars appear to be fixed on a celestial sphere, rotating about the axis through the geographic poles of the earth. Why and how? That's really, really interesting to me. Second, the earth seems to be unmoving from the perspective of an earthbound observer. It feels solid, it feels stable, and it feels stationary. And I know that the Greeks were around a long, long time, and I know this might be Greek to all of you, but folks, if you didn't know, does the earth seem to be moving really, really fast to you, or does it seem to be unmoving? Does it seem to be spinning on its axis and hurtling through space, or does it feel solid? Does it feel stable? Does it feel stationary? I know what it feels like to me. And I know that we're in this age, back in Greece, man, they're like, hey, we are humans and we are the highest expression of creation. And we're this far from divinity, and we can look and we can see, we can stand and we can feel. And by the gods, if there are any, this bitch ain't moving. It's fixed. That's what they thought. Penelope, it feels still to me, but what do I know? See, Penelope, if you are in Greece, and that name of yours probably is Grecian, you would say, it feels still to me. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. I must be right. Tracy says, if the constellations are what convinced me, the constellations are what convinced her that we're in a fixed position. So that's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. But nowadays, we're like, yeah, I know it feels like it ain't moving. I know it looks like everything goes around us. But all the smart people say that it isn't. So we believe the smart people instead of believe ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And that's an option, but I'm trying to give you another option to think about tonight. Aristotle, less than 500 years ago, I don't know how that classical Greece snuck in there, but less than 500 years ago, all of the learned believed that the heavens rotated around the earth in a geocentric model rather than the universe revolving around the sun. And Aristotle asked these three questions. Aristotle said and asked, if the earth is spinning, especially as fast as it's spinning, why don't objects fly off the earth? Aristotle was a smart guy. And I asked myself the same question. If the earth is spinning, why don't objects fly off the earth? I played a lot of tennis when I was a kid. I played with my dad a lot. We played in the rain in Florida. We wouldn't stop for the rain. Are you kidding me? We play on. And I remember when you hit a good shot on a wet tennis ball, and all the wet water just flies off the ball. Why would it be different? I don't know. But Aristotle asked the same question that I ask, and it makes me feel a little better to hear that Aristotle asked it as well. If the earth is spinning, why don't objects fly off the earth? Number two, if the Earth was moving around the sun, why doesn't it leave flying birds behind or flying airplanes? If the Earth was really spinning really fast, wouldn't you just have to go up in an airplane and just sit there and wait for your destination to come underneath you? And if you're a bird, you'd have to fly your ass off to keep up and to go forward. Man, I don't know. And Aristotle also asked, if the Earth was in orbit around the sun, why don't we see a parallax effect on the stars? If the Earth is moving, and this is what Tracy was talking about, the shapes of the constellations should change considerably over the course of a year. And they don't. We've seen that they don't. Aristotle asked these. I asked these. I don't know, maybe you asked these questions as well. Have you ever heard of Ptolemy? Ptolemy was also a geocentrist. The astronomical predictions of Ptolemy's geocentric model, developed in the 2nd century, served as the basis for preparing astrological and astronomical charts for 1,500 years. Think of that. The charts of astrology, the charts of astronomy, they were based on Ptolemaic geocentric model. And for 1,500 years, let's think about it. Do we still have astronomy in the world today? Yes, we do. Do we still have astrology in the world today? Yes, we do. If that shit didn't work over those 1,500 years, then it wouldn't be here. The fact that it still works shows that Ptolemy was right and the geocentric model was right, in my opinion. Claudius Ptolemy was a mathematician. He was an astronomer, a geographer. He wrote several scientific books, 3 of which were of importance to later Western European science. He wrote the Almagest, he wrote the Geography, and he wrote an astrological treatise when he was trying to align astrology and horoscope. He wrote another book, and his books are called the 4 books or the Quadripartium today. And people that are classic students always read that. He lived in Alexandria in the Roman province of Egypt. He cited Greek philosophers and even used Babylonian observations and Babylonian lunar theory. But for 1,500 years, man, it worked. Did it suddenly quit working? I don't know, man. The geocentric model held sway into the early modern age. And from the late 16th century onward, the geocentric model got replaced by the heliocentric model of Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler. Tracy mentioned the J word earlier. And if you look at all 3 of those guys, they have traces back to the Jesuits. And we're taught today that, once we realized that it wasn't geocentric, everybody got on board and said, yeah, that's right. But there was much resistance to the transition from geocentrism to heliocentrism. Some felt that a new unknown theory should not subvert an accepted consensus for geocentrism. Folks, this was what the great minds of the highest expression of human culture thought out and reasoned out. And there were many that said, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't be so fast to jump off this boat. But yet now, after the influence of Jesuitism, Limism, Christianity, New World Order, Illuminati, which is really is all the same thing. But down in the 4th century BC, 2 influential philosophers, Plato and Aristotle, that's a couple smart dudes. They wrote works based on the geocentric model. The 16th century was the end of the geocentric model, the beginning of the heliocentric model. What were some of the other things that the 16th century brought us in addition to the heliocentric model? And I don't think it's any coincidence. The 16th century brought us the birth of colonialism, which is when a country goes and takes over other countries and dominates them. And hand in hand with colonialism came international monetary system, that's the limbs, and the slave trade, which was run almost exclusively by the limbs. So we got colonialism, we got international monetary, cough, cough, limbism, and we got slavery. We also saw the rise of militant Islam, known as gunpowder Islam. And then joining this was the idea of the heliocentric universe, an idea that the earth revolves around the sun and that the earth itself is spinning, advanced by Copernicus. Wasn't it soon after that that the calendar changed with a 1,000-year discrepancy? Yes, it was. The Greeks were lovers of the divine form, lovers of human thought. They could not and would not conceive of a universe where man was but an afterthought. To them, man and earth were the centerpieces of a divinely organized drama playing out in a great cosmic theater. They could not conceive of man as an insignificant being on a forgotten planet. And I can't either, to be totally frank with you. I can't either. Why has it become so easy for us to ignore what we see? Why has it become so easy for us to ignore what we observe? Why has it become so easy for us to ignore what we feel? Why has it become so easy for us to doubt ourselves? I see it, I feel it, but yet I do not believe what I see. I do not believe what I feel because of some other guy that's telling me there's a formula that says I'm wrong. Why? Why are we so easy to just give up? Why? Why have we so quickly and easily forgotten the lofty ideals of our own humanity, held by the greatest culture that was ever spawned by us that we know of? Dudes, it's only been 500 years. We went down quicker than a French whore. And sorry to insult whores like that. I don't get it. I really don't get it. These are some of the things that make me go, What if Aristotle and the Greeks were right? And what if everyone else up to 500 years ago was also right? What if the universe is a geocentric universe? What if the earth is at the center? And let me give you some information and some quotes that are going to blow your mind. There's a fellow named George F.R. Ellis. He's the Emeritus Distinguished Professor of Complex Systems in the Department of Mathematics and Applied Mathematics at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. That's some pretty damn good academic chops. And Dr. Ellis says, and listen to this, I can construct for you a spherically symmetrical universe with Earth at the center, geocentric, and you cannot disprove it based on observations. You can only exclude it on philosophical grounds. So what Dr. Ellis is saying, if I may extrapolate, is that it doesn't matter how you slice it. If you just observe the data, it's geocentric, baby. But when you start getting into philosophical grounds and start crunching numbers and theories and Einsteins and this and that and all the smart people, quote unquote. But who's really not so smart. Isn't it, or maybe isn't it us that can see what we see and feel what we feel, and yet we allow people to talk us out of what we see and what we feel? You know, the old adage, they piss on us and telling us it's raining. And many of us play in the rain. Not me, baby. That quote was very, very amazing to me, but wait, there's more. Robert A. Sungenis, PhD. He says the newest cosmological evidence puts Earth at the center of the universe, and this is admitted by many popular scientists. Experiential evidence from over 100 years ago to the present day shows the Earth is motionless in space. Listen to this. This will blow your mind. Einstein's special theory of relativity was invented precisely to counter the many experiments in late 1800s that showed the Earth was standing still in space. Experiments showing the Earth standing still in space. Observable vision showing the Earth standing in space. Our feelings showing the Earth standing in space. But we can't be allowed to believe we're the center of the universe. We can't be allowed to believe we're divine, we're sovereign and free. So here comes Einstein, Limish Einstein, with the general theory of relativity, invented to cover the weakness of the special theory. But in so doing, the general theory allowed Earth to be motionless in the center of the universe. In addition to Einstein's general theory of relativity, other theories of physics, such as Newton's law of motion and Mach's principle, say that a universe rotating around a fixed Earth is as scientifically valid as a rotating Earth in a fixed universe. Now, you may want to believe in a Earth rotating around the sun. I don't know why you'd want to believe that. It's not what you see. It's not what you feel. It's not what you experience. But a fixed Earth is just as valid scientifically by observable, provable data as a rotating Earth. What's the center of the universe? The Earth. But wait, there's more. In addition to Einstein's general theory of relativity, I don't know why I keep saying that. Other theories of physics, I just read that. Every scientific proof for an Earth revolving around the sun has been discredited. And there's never been an experiment that provided proof that the Earth is moving. Now, there's a lot of equations. There's a lot of math. But there's never been an observable, fact-based, non-philosophical, here it is, that is proving that the Earth is moving. Recent satellite data from satellite probes sent up in the 1900s and 2000s show that the whole universe is aligned with both the Earth-Sun ecliptic and the Earth's equator, showing that our universe is geocentrically oriented with the Earth at the center. Did you hear that? If you look at all the information that we supposedly have, even with the stuff that's not observable, the stuff that's NASA and science and all that, even that proves that the Earth is at the center. It is geocentrically oriented with the Earth. The universe, the Earth is in the very middle of the universe. Lisa says, I've taken a parabolic lens with a mirror under, and at certain angles, there's mechanics above us. I don't know what that means. Sounds interesting. Joe loves you more than he did 8 months ago, says Joe King. No homo. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mandy says the Earth is flat. Well, we're not talking about flat Earth, but when I look, just like I observably look, and I see that things go around us, just like I feel that we're not spinning. If I go out and look, and I've been in the back seat of an F-15. I was a C-130 crew chief. I've been up to maximum elevation flying over the Alps. It was amazing. As high as I go, I got a friend named Glenn, climbs mountains. As high as he climbs, it's always flat. Now, I'm not saying it's absolutely flat, but I'm saying I've never seen no curvature. I look at water, and water is always flat. And 75% of the earth is water. So my mind says, if 75% of the earth is water, and water is always flat and level, then how can this bitch be round if 75% of it is flat as it can be? I'm just saying what I see. I'm saying what I observe. I'm saying what I feel and can tell. And damn it, I'm sick and tired of doubting what I see and what I feel because of some smart guy or some smart girl that tells me I'm wrong. Recent data from telescopes show that galaxies and many other celestial objects, such as quasars and gamma ray bursts, are oriented around the Earth in concentric spheres. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I sense a little bit of a troll in the chat room. Little heads with little eyes from little vantage points can't see curvature. You know, I've noticed that when a person runs out of intelligent conversation, when a person runs out of ideas, what they do is they start resorting to insults. It's called ad hominem insults. When you're losing a debate, when you're getting your ass handed to you in a debate, you forget the subject because you've already been trashed and you start attacking your opponent. That's what I see happening here. I see somebody calling people little-headed and little-eyed and whatever divorcees have to do with it. All I want is one picture that's not CGI of a round Earth, and I'll shut up. But they don't have one. They haven't given us one. And we're not talking about flat Earth. But as I look, why do I continue to doubt myself because of what so-called smart people say? I'm about done with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about done with that. Let's move right on. We'll get in the chat room later. Neither Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, Newton, or Einstein, nor anyone else has ever provided the world with proof that the Earth revolves around the sun. Now, it is widely reported that a year before he died, Galileo dramatically renounced his claims that the Earth went around the sun. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But Albert Einstein said, "We cannot feel our motion through space, nor has any physical experiment ever proved that the Earth is actually in motion." That was in a book from historian Lincoln Barnett, and the foreword was by Albert Einstein, and that's a quote from the foreword. Einstein said, "We can't feel the Earth moving through space. Nothing has ever physically proved that the Earth is moving and that the Earth is in motion." That's what Einstein said, not what Daugherty said. Albert Einstein again. "I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment." Albert Einstein. "I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment." And that's it. You're gone. Try to be nice, and what does it get you? A great deal of research has been carried out concerning the influence of the Earth's movement. The results were always negative. No physical experiment has ever been proved that the Earth is actually in motion. Lincoln Barnett. Julian Barber, a world-class physicist in England. Thus, even now, 3.5 centuries after Galileo's condemnation by the Inquisition, it is still remarkably difficult to say categorically whether the Earth moves. Oh my. It is remarkably difficult to say categorically whether the Earth moves. That's scientific talk for we can't prove that this bitch is moving. Astronomers and physicists confirm that we on Earth cannot tell the difference between the heliocentric or the geocentric model because it can't be observed. The Earth-centered system is in reality absolutely identical with the system of Copernicus, and all computations of the places of the planets are the same for the two systems. J.L.E. Dyer, astronomer. Did you hear that? If you plot things, observable things, whether you say you're geocentric or whether you say you're heliocentric, the actual factual data is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. I'm just asking questions. I, Bernard Cohen, physicist, said, there is no planetary observation by which we on Earth can prove that the Earth is moving in an orbit around the sun. The highest expressions of human culture said the Earth is the center of the universe and everything revolves around us and we're not spinning. Are we really that much smarter than them, or have we fallen from a place of true knowledge and confidence in our divinity, our sovereignty, and our freedom, where we can actually see things and believe and trust our own beliefs and feelings? Or have we come to the place where we're ready to surrender even what we think and see to scientism that tells us, I know you see it, I know you feel it, but it's wrong? How in the hell can we do that? It's a short, you know what? A person that believes, here I come, a person that believes that what they see isn't real and what they feel isn't real is the same kind of a person that'll put a mask on their face when the box says it doesn't work. How can these dummies walk around with a diaper on their face thinking it's going to help them when the box, the bitch, comes in, says they don't work? I am, Rex. I am into curves more. I really am. I'm not going to lie. Maybe this isn't an isolated incident. Maybe we should start having a little more confidence in our own ability to observe and our own ability to see and our own ability to feel. That's just what I'm saying. That's all I'm suggesting. Maybe you want to think about that. Whether the Earth rotates once a day from west to east, as Copernicus taught, or the heavens revolve once a day from east to west, as his predecessors believed, the observable phenomena will be exactly the same. This shows a defect in Newtonian dynamics, which, since an empirical science ought not to contain a metaphysical assumption which can never be proved or disproved by observation. Dennis Sciama, physicist. What I think he's saying is, if the data says exactly the same thing, then you got to be a special kind of special to think that what you can see and feel isn't true if it can't be proven to you. And Dr. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking. Did I really do that? I did. I did. So which is real? The Ptolemaic or the Copernican system? Remember, Ptolemy was geocentric, Copernicus heliocentric. Although it is not uncommon for people to say that Copernicus proved Ptolemy wrong, that is not true. That is not true. One can either picture as a model of the universe for our one can use either picture as a model of the universe. For our observations of the heavens can be explained by assuming either the earth is or the sun is at rest. That's Stephen F. Hawking. Our observations of the heavens can be explained by assuming either the earth or the sun to be at rest. If you consider the sun to be at rest, then you're a bug. You're just another bug on just another rock zooming around some light. But if you assume the earth to be at rest, then you're divine, sovereign, and free, living on the thing that's at the center of the universe. And that might change your perception a little bit. It might make you revive that spirit of 1776. It might make you have a little rebel yell. I'm just saying, it might. It might. It might. More fascinating scientific facts you haven't heard. In 1989, the Cosmic Background Explorer, or the COBE, proved the radiation of the universe was lined up with the equator of the Earth, which put the Earth at or near the center of the universe. Wow. The Cosmic Background Explorer. All in all, there's three basic alignments of the Earth with the universe. The cosmic microwave radiation dipole is aligned with Earth's equator. The cosmic microwave radiation's quadrupole and the octopole, don't forget the octopole, they are also aligned with the Earth-Sun ecliptic. And the distant quasars and radio galaxies are aligned with the Earth's equator and the North Celestial Pole. What does all that mean? It just means that the three alignments provide the X, Y, and Z coordinates to place the Earth at the very center of the known universe. Fascinating scientific facts you haven't heard. Wow. The X, Y, and Z coordinates place the Earth at the very center of the known universe. In 1975, in a paper published in Astrophysics and Space Science, Y.P. Varshney said, "The Earth is indeed the center of the universe. The arrangement of the quasars on certain spherical shells is only with respect to the Earth. It implies that a coordinate system fixed to the Earth will be a preferred frame of reference in the universe." Wow. Varshney studied at Allahabad University, where he obtained his Bachelor of Science in 1950, his Master of Science in 1952, his PhD in 1956. He published his first research paper in 1951 at the age of 19, when most of you were still smoking dope. Not that there's anything wrong with that. He served as an assistant professor in the physics department at Allahabad University from 1955 to 1960. Essentially, Ernst Mach showed that the Coriolis effect can be created either by a rotating Earth in a fixed star field or by the star field rotating around the fixed Earth. So again, the facts all show the same thing. So it really comes down to what you want to believe. Are you a bug on a rock zooming around a match? Or are you divine, sovereign, and free, sitting at the center of the universe with something really, really special and amazing to do and to be? Wow. The Big Bang was the brainchild of the Belgian priest and scientist Georges Lemaitre. That stands for father, by the way. After a classical education at a Jesuit secondary school, Collège du Sacré-Cœur, he began studying civil engineering at the Catholic University, of course, The age of 17, he initially called the Big Bang the hypothesis of the primeval atom. The usual suspects, folks. Our fine Jesuit friends. And that's the end. That's the end. That's all I got. I'm the Christian Whistleblower, Jeffrey Daugherty, hoping that you will choose to unindoctrinate yourself. Coming to you in the spirit of 1776 with a rebel yell, folks, because we've been pushed too far and we're coming back. We're going to start believing what we see. We're going to start believing what we feel. And we're going to start believing that we're divine, we're sovereign, and we're free. Thank you, Jimmy G. And these two flags mean the very same thing. Freedom, sovereignty, divinity for each and every single one of us. Let's go to the chat room real quick. And finally, the king has returned to his senses, says Joe King. I'm not sure what he means, but I say thank you. Penelope says it feels still to me. We talked about this. Constellations are fixed. We talked about that. There's no way we're spinning, says Daniel Allman. I don't see it either, brother. Besides, the thing that really pushed me over the edge, I'm like, okay, this thing's covered 70%, 75% with water. And they tell me it's going around the earth, and they're really smart people that say it's going around the earth, around the sun. And I could buy it going around the sun if it goes at the same exact speed all the time, because then, there's gravity and magic, and then it would, if it goes at a steady speed, I could see no problems. But then NASA told me about 6 months ago, they said, oh, we discovered something. No big deal. We just discovered something. But as the earth revolves around the sun, it speeds up and it slows down. And I'm like, wait a damn minute. I know I'm just a Bible college graduate, but I can't walk across this house with this cup full of water, speed up and slow down, and not spill and incur the wrath of Cynthia. There's no damn way that this earth could revolve around the sun, speed up and slow down without some sloshing going on. I live in Kansas. The slosh probably wouldn't be that bad for me. If you live in LA, sloshing no good. If you live in Florida, sloshing no good. If you live in New York, sloshing no good. Washington, Portland, sloshing no good, although it might come in and wipe out all those dumbasses that are rioting. That would be an improvement. But you get my point. There's no way it's going around the sun. I ain't buying it. I can't see it. I can't feel it. There's no proof that it is. So I'm not, I know. I'm divine, I'm sovereign, I'm free. And we are not spinning and we are not traveling around the sun. And you can't prove any different. Because a lot of guys and girls smarter than you have tried and they failed. They failed. Smart people are putting fake people in the baseball stadiums too. Yeah. The day they knelt is the last time I'll ever watch baseball. Lisa loves where this conversation is going. Let's see. I don't know what kind of car and what kind of coffee that Stephen Thomas is drinking, but when I'm in my car and I hold my cup, as long, Stephen Thomas, as I'm going a steady speed, I got no problems. My coffee stays in my cup, even if it's not big like this. I'm trying to drink a gallon every day. It's 3 of these. This is my last one for today. Boom, that's 3 days in a row. Go ahead and congratulate me. But Stephen Thomas, I don't know what kind of car you're driving or what kind of cup you got, but if you're driving down the highway at 65 or 70, you got no problems. Slow down a little bit. Speed up a little bit. What's going to happen? That bitch is going to spill. Unless you're like, whoop, whoop, it's going to spill. Come on, man. Did you really ask me that? Did you really ask me that? Come on, man. You're smarter than that. I know you are. I see your picture. You're on YouTube. You got to be smarter than that to be able to be on YouTube. You were able to figure out how to make yourself a channel. You're able to figure out how to put your picture on there. You can figure out that if you're slowing down and speeding up, you're going to spill. You're going to spill. You are going to spill. The sky clock has never changed, so we can't be hurtling in space, says Harry Christie. I agree. The moon affects the tides and has the push and pull. Seems like if we were spinning, the water would be gone. Interesting point, Alan Stiles. Let's see. Dark matter. Oh, it's dark matter, which means we don't fucking know what it is. We're just going to make some shit up, call it dark matter. We don't know. Why dark matter? Well, then we can't see it. Don't have to explain it. I like listening to Jeff on this, says Alan Stiles. Well, thank you. I like it. And what else we got here? So many doubt what they feel, says Brooke, and she's right. They love telling us we are wrong or we cannot. Exactly, Lisa. The only thing that you need to understand is level. I agree, Rob. I agree. We abandon our natural desires for manufactured ones, says Brandon. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Harry says astrology was vilified and changed into astronomy to create scientism. I agree 100%. Good stuff. Sonoluminescence, light created by sound in water. Not sure what that means, but interesting. Thanks. Einstein was a plagiarist moron. I agree with you, Brandon. Einstein was a librarian at best, Tracy. I agree. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat room. Oh, and here we go again. Mandy Dennis. Mandy got her panties in a wad. Mandy's all upset because Mandy is out of facts again. And all Mandy can do is attack. Ad hominem attack. And by the way, I am not wearing panties. I will be 100% honest about that. In fact, I'm commando right now. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Live in the air, commando. But Mandy, who's a little upset, got hers in a wad, says you need to do more research. Really? How much have you done, Mandy? Not enough to actually formulate a question or formulate a challenge. But I know it's hard to do when everything's in a wad down there. So we'll give you a little bit of grace. Little bit of grace. If I were spinning, I'd be sick, said Sherry. Nice to see you, Sherry. You're absolutely right. Let's see. Michael says, yes, it's flat. Michael Patton, 1986. What else we got? Joey Roca sent me here, says Sue Finelli. Thank you, Joey, and thank you, Sue, for being here. Rob says straight lines are complicated. Yeah. Hashtag level mind says Earth is geocentric and motionless. I agree with you. Penelope says flat. Mandy says the sky moves, not us. Why does smoke not trail off and go straight up? Now, Mandy, I'm confused. I'm confused. Or maybe you're confused. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Level mind, Joey Roca. Joey's blowing up. Thanks, Joey. I appreciate it. The globe is a lie, says Sue Finelli. The supernatural Joey said I'm here too. Thank you, Joey. He's from NYC, a very flat town. Anthony says Joey sent him too. Joey sending everybody. I'm not sure who Joey is, but thank you, Joey. I appreciate you very, very much. And while you're here, why don't you subscribe? It'll be worth it. What else we got? We live in a stationary realm, says Outer Ponds Philosophy. I agree with you. And thank you for the smooch. And let's see here. Like in a VR headset, everything appears flat, but the creators of the Matrix may see elsewise. Ooh, Steven, that's reaching, babe. That is reaching. And Mandy, again, you got more Joey's people than yours. Really? Mandy, Mandy's a little bit of a conundrum to me, but that's okay. That's okay. We got some good trolls in here tonight. I got to admit, there are some good trolls. Let's see. Hope that troll doesn't have a button like that toy. I don't understand, but that's okay. Chat's not loading for me. Sorry. The Air Force flew around the world and still see it as I think that's a plane that we live on, and I can see too far on clear days. I'm with you, damsel medic. I think. Heliocentrism is sun worship. Good point. Good point. Alan says he listens to this channel because Jeff's informative work. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This level realm is created by God and is immovable and stationary. Fact, says Scott, no name. Scott, be very, very careful tying your beliefs to the Bible, because the Bible is not worth the paper it's printed on. You're better off smoking joints rolled with your Bible paper than reading it. And I've got a Bible college degree. I was 20 years a minister. I have over 100,000 hours studying it, and I've been doing this 40 years. Now, this is a new one. We may live inside a globe, but not on one. That's interesting. That is interesting. We've been convinced and indoctrinated to lie to ourselves. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Albert Einstein was a moron. Well, I'm not going to argue with that, Anthony. The movement of Earth has never been factually proved. Yep, we've been through that. And Rex loves reptilian shapeshifters and Al Gore. It's a little redundant, Rex. A little redundant. Jeff ran over a nail. Nope, I didn't. I did not. Historical facts, says Joe King. Rex is right. I am into curves, but you know. Flatten the curve. That's funny. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I think we're going to go and be done with this. Damsel Medic, physics proves no motion. Go explain how Baumgartner took off in a balloon 100,000 plus feet up and jumps, but somehow lands where he took off on a 1,000 mile per hour plus spinning ball. That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Let's see. I'm not a cucumber, says Rethink. Okay. No problem, brah. I'm open to other ideas if you can show me a compass that has ever pointed south. Not sure what that means. Not sure what that means. What's your take on flat Earth? Yay or nay? We've already talked about that, Denise. You'll have to rewind. Bible, believing in bullshit lies every day. I like that. What are they hiding with the Antarctica Treaty? Flying at Mach 2, making no correction for curves. Microwave transceivers have a line of sight range of 100 kilometers. Good stuff. Old encyclopedias say it's a flat plane. They do indeed. The spinning globe theory is just as much a lie as we landed on the moon. I'm with you. Also, at what height do we need to get before we see the Earth start spinning? Good question. Where's he reading from? Dude, you got to go back. Every military on Earth constructs its weapons assuming a flat and stationary plane. Yep. Thank you, Second Star to the Right. Well, folks, I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. That's why we're coming to you in the spirit of 1776 with a rebel yell from the heartland of America. reminding you you're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. You don't have to go and bend a knee to anybody's savior because you don't need salvation. And there are no fallen angels, Chris. I'm sorry, but I'm getting rid of that bullshit right here, right now. The angel, we got to grow up. It is not angels. It is wicked humans. Cut the angel crap. That's recycled 1988 bullshit. Sorry. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, I'm your mailman. I just bring you the mail. I put it in your box. You decide whether you want to open it or read it or not, because only you can unindoctrinate yourself. And once you do, we hope that you'll take a leadership role, because we're the last generation of real humans, and we need you. For Tracy Dyer and our other great moderators, for the lovely Cynthia, I salute you for being here, seeking after truth, and salute you for having the guts to be here. And until next time, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, reminding you one more time, you're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. Act like it.